They don't teach you this in school, and no one tells you until it's too late. But one of the most dangerous things a man can fall for is a woman who hides control behind vulnerability. Not all vulnerability is genuine. Some women have mastered the art of crying on command, lowering their voice, or playing the victim the moment they're held accountable. And in that moment, your logic shuts down, and your instincts to protect kick in. Suddenly, you're apologizing for something you didn't do, questioning your own memory, or giving in just to keep the peace. It's emotional manipulation wrapped in softness. You think she's opening up, but she's actually steering the narrative. One tear, one trembling voice, and she's back in control, not because she's weak, but because she knows your compassion is your blind spot. Stoicism trains you to pause, observe, and not react emotionally. That pause is power. When you don't rush to rescue, you give truth a chance to reveal itself. Men often pride themselves on being protectors, but ask yourself, are you protecting her, or are you protecting the version of her you hope is real? Not every woman who cries is being honest. Not every breakdown deserves your surrender. Emotional strength is not just in how much you feel, it's in how much you can see clearly while feeling. Stop rewarding emotional manipulation with understanding. Start rewarding truth with presence. You ever wonder why she needs constant compliments, likes, messages, and reassurance, even when she already has your full attention? That's not love, that's validation addiction, and it's more common than you think. In today's world, with social media giving women instant access to attention 24/7, many of them get hooked on the high of being desired. One post, a few flirty comments, and suddenly your presence, your energy, starts feeling replaceable to her. You will say it's just Instagram, or they're just friends. But the truth is, a woman who constantly needs outside validation will never be satisfied with the stability you offer. Your love becomes background noise, and the moment you stop feeding her ego, she starts scrolling for someone who will. It's not even always intentional. It's just how some are wired now. That need to be seen, complimented, chased, it overrides their ability to connect deeply. This is where most men fail. They compete for her attention instead of realizing the game is already rigged. You don't win by chasing harder. You win by walking away from someone who doesn't value your energy. A Stoic man doesn't beg to be seen. He builds a life so solid that his presence is its own validation. When a woman sees you as an accessory to her self-worth instead of a man to respect, it's already over. You were never in a relationship. You were a mirror. You ever walk into a room and just feel the tension? No words spoken, but something's off. She's smiling, but it's not real. She says, "I'm fine," but you know damn well she's not. That's not just moodiness, that's a silent test, and most men fail it without even realizing they're being tested. See, a lot of women don't come at you directly when they're upset. They withdraw. They wait. They set emotional traps, not to destroy you, but to see how much power they hold over you. Will you chase her? Will you beg for answers? Will you break your frame just to make her feel okay? That's the test, and when you fail it, you teach her one thing, that your peace can be disturbed at her command. Resentment in silence is one of the most overlooked weapons in relationships. Instead of talking, she'll shift energy. She'll pull back, withhold affection, or act distant without explanation. Why? Because many women want to feel chosen, even when they're the ones creating the conflict. They want to see if you'll bend. A Stoic man doesn't chase moods. He doesn't fall into emotional games. He leads with calm clarity and boundaries. If something's wrong, he addresses it. But he doesn't dance around unspoken drama or play emotional detective. You're not responsible for decoding silence. You're responsible for protecting your peace. Ever had that gut feeling she's looking at you, but also past you, like she's measuring, comparing, calculating? That's not paranoia. It's reality. It's called hypergamy. It's the silent drive most men ignore until it's too late. See, many women are biologically wired to seek the best possible option. And in today's world, where better is always one DM away, you're not just her man, you're her placeholder until something upgrades. So the healthy relationship, the good job, is meant to be first, the perfect work, until something upgrades. You could be loyal, consistent, supportive, but if you're stagnant, if your ambition is dying, she'll start scanning the horizon, not all at once, slowly, subtly. Maybe she starts bringing up other guys in conversation. Maybe she compares your income, your lifestyle, your energy to someone else's. You think it's harmless. It's not. It's a warning shot. This isn't about hating women. It's about understanding human nature. Women are drawn to strength, momentum, and status, not just emotionally, but evolutionarily. The Stoic man doesn't cry about this. He embraces it. He doesn't compete with other men. He competes with the man he was yesterday. Every damn day. The truth is, she might love you today, but if you're not building, growing, becoming more, she'll love a memory, not a man. You don't stay chosen by standing still. You stay chosen by becoming undeniable. Purpose first, woman second, always. Ever notice how a woman can do something and get praised for it? But if a man did the same thing, he'd be labeled toxic? That's not a coincidence. That's selective morality. And if you don't call it out, or at the very least see it, you'll end up trapped in a double standard that eats away at your self-respect. She can flirt with other guys and call it harmless fun. You do the same, and you're a cheater. She can raise her voice in an argument, throw things, or even get physical, and it's written off as passion. But if you even look too angry, you're abusive. These aren't small differences. These are lines in the sand. And if you let her redraw those lines every time emotions run high, you'll lose sight of your own boundaries. Stoicism teaches us to judge behavior, not gender, not excuses, not emotions, just behavior. You don't get emotional when you spot a double standard. You get clear. You get calm. And you call it exactly what it is. Because when you allow inconsistency, you invite chaos. The strongest men aren't the ones who yell the loudest. They're the ones who don't flinch in the face of emotional games. They stand firm, grounded in principle, even when it's uncomfortable. Because once you start compromising on your values to keep the peace, you've already lost the war. Fairness isn't a request, it's a requirement. You ever laugh along with a joke that didn't feel funny? Like she called you lazy, or useless, or said you're not a real man, and then brushed it off with a smile and a relax, I'm just playing? That wasn't humor, that was disrespect, wrapped in a punchline. And if you let it slide once, you teach her something dangerous, that your dignity is negotiable. What starts as sarcasm becomes a pattern, constant teasing about your income, your body, your ambition, always framed as just jokes. But the truth is, the jokes always hit where it hurts. Why? Because deep down, some women test your emotional resilience not with fights, but with laughter. If they can humiliate you in front of others, chip away at your masculinity, and you still sit there smiling, they know they don't have to respect you. A Stoic man doesn't explode over a joke. He doesn't throw a tantrum. He simply draws a line. Clear, direct, calm. He says, "We don't talk like that here," and then lets his boundaries speak louder than his emotions ever could. Because if you don't demand respect and peace, you'll have to beg for it in conflict. You don't have to become hard, you just have to stop letting humor be the excuse for disrespect. You're not the punchline, you're the standard.